Hi, so welcome back. Hwafisa Studio. The conversation still carries on. And we've seen Kaizer Chiefs complaining about teams not wanting to sell them players. One player in particular, Maposa, Iqraam Rayners, your team knocked on the door. How much did you guys have? Why did they agree to sell you? The very same team that said,
so let's go back. And so, take notebook. Sundowns went and said, we're looking for Rayners. Stellenbosch said, we're not selling, but there's a buyout clause. They give you the value of the buyout clause. Then you have to meet that buyout clause for you to be able to be given a player. And Sundowns went back, had a couple of conversations. Coach, this is what, and the coach said, I want him. And then they activated the buyout clause. Look at Cape Town Spurs. They said there's a value to their player. You can't say, I want this player, and then be the one that determines the price. If you want my player, and I was not selling him, and I give you a price, and you don't come back, and you cry victim. You can't cry victim, Chief.
SC, Mamposa is mentioning the price. Then the coach Mangoba also said the 12 million rand. Do you feel that's fair? A fair price rather to pay for Iqraam, considering most players, if you look at them, Baba Cape Town, they really struggle to gel in. Is there a place for him? Is it justifiable?
Look, it's a fair price. It's actually a bargain. Nah, I get a cash here. Based on his performance.
I like your
That's why I'm about to put that.
I mean, we're talking Sundowns here, you know. And you look at the performances that Iqraam, you can't doubt that. He scored about 5 goals at some point in one match. That tells you this guy is quality. So we put money on the table, we get our player. You take it back to I just want to go back to Ntwempwana Ibuwa. There's a point in time where Kaizer Chiefs was offloading, not even offloading. They were chasing away their players because these boys didn't want to be ball boys. Kaizer Chiefs put a certain bar and said, these players are worth $1 million and so forth. Cape Town Spurs comes on and says, this guy is worth this much. And then Kaizer Chiefs wants to play victim. When they're the ones that said, our development players start at a certain range.
Lufuno, Iqraam is not the only player that was sold by Stellenbosch. Van Rooyen is Mnyama Ngenkani. How did they acquire him? Do you feel it's a good buy? Do they need him looking at the number of right backs that they have?
Yeah, for Pirates, it's a good business. He's an experienced player. So he's a leader from Stellenbosch. He's a captain of Stellenbosch. Now he's going to add value at Pirates. If you look at the players that are playing at right back and compare with him in terms of experience, I think it's a good catch. However, you know players that comes from that side of the world, they really struggles when they come to play, especially this side. You had a typical example of the guy that they bought from Cape Town City. I think it's Martin. And he struggled with Pirates. And they had to actually ship him out even before the season ended. So it's a dice, you can get it right, and sometimes, and I mean, Iqraam that he's talking about, he was a super spot, just next door.
Does he start?
Where?
In the team?
At Sundowns.
Orlando Pirates?
Van Rooyen. Yeah, well, if you buy him, obviously it means that you want him to be a first starter.
Mara Cox, there's a trend that Lufuno is missing. Pirates went, they said no. Pirates came back. So you must up the moral of the story is, if people give you a price, meet their price, you won't be crying victim here telling us nobody wants to sell.
The problem with what Impo is saying is that we've got in record where Chiefs were offering more for a player.
No, but it's not all the players.
No, but we're giving you an example. That is what it is, a trend that is happening, where a player, you said Stellenbosch said they're not selling any players, but they've sold to Sundowns, they've sold to Pirates. He's speaking about that they've triggered a buyout clause. We never heard them talking about buyout clause at Kaizer Chiefs. They talk about he's not for sale. That's why Kaizer Chiefs have shifted now to a player, the left back of Amazulu, because they need a left back. They've moved away from that because you can't. And again, this thing of saying a player you can. I mean, we had Litwalo at Royal AM when Kaizer Chiefs were interested.
They said 20 million, right? And Mazda,
they said 20 million. He moves to Skukune for 3 million. Now, what's the honest truth there?
So Lifuno, let me stick with, because we've seen Kaizer Chiefs reinvent themselves, Momo transfer market. They went to a different country and they got their players. Do you think that's the way to go for you guys? And what do you think of the signing?
Well, it's the right way to go for Kaizer Chiefs, because you can see that for them to get players in South Africa, it's very difficult. There's a price for Kaizer Chiefs, there's a price for other teams. So they have to move away from that. And I said, with reference to
you want to tell me what Lufuno said?
Hold on. Wait.
Lesser price when you know Sundowns is willing to pay you with dropping your price. It's probably going higher.
Mashiko, I still say to you, the left back Mashiko that you got from Cape Town City. Kaizer Chiefs went there. They wanted to buy. A certain coach at Sundowns says we bought him to neutralize opposition. They didn't need him. But again, Cape Town City will, of course, buy for, Sundowns will pay more because that's what they will do. They will use Kaizer Chiefs to get more money.
Will pay more.
Of course, to get
Sundowns to pay more.
No, you need to evaluate the player. You cannot just buy in the market just because a player is, 10 million you pay. You need to evaluate. They will live in
evaluation FC.
All right, so we've had your evaluation, and another thing that was also evaluated is the stadium that Stellies was going to be playing, and it was found that Habashap. So I just want to bring it now. Moses Mabhida, what's the reason why Huiwa Mabhida?
Look, from when you look at where Cape Town Stadium is, and the one thing that angers me is that that's a stadium that was built for football in 2010. Government spent money to be able to build a stadium that's going to be for football because we have seen that the city of Cape Town is not pro-football. They will prioritize cricket, they will prioritize rugby over football. And now, ever since Western Province has moved as a tenant from from Newlands to Cape Town Stadium, now you've got a rugby game that's coming and they're saying that week before, they cannot be able to allow the team to be able to be there. And that is very sad because that is a football stadium that the country built for football to be able to prioritize football, and football is taking a step back. They're not even playing in the same city, they're playing in another province.
Lufuno, quickly, do you feel that football is being marginalized in some sort of way? Because everywhere else in the country, football is a priority. Are we entitled to even have that?
Yeah, but look, it's always the case. We know that Sundowns won't play Loftus if there's rugby. Yes, it's not their stadium, but we know they won't play there. Hence, probably they're also going to play at Richville. Rugby will always take priority in this country. And what Mpo is saying, the stadium was built for football. But I mean, now Stellenbosch has to play their game in Durban, which is really doesn't make sense.
All right, gentlemen, are you happy with Sundowns? Can we say you're ready to compete? Are you still going to be signing another player?
Look, at Sundowns you can never close the checkbook because there's always quality around South America, South Africa, But for now, I'm happy with what we have. I mean, we still have players that still need to be phased into the team. They've already been phased into the team, but in terms of getting minutes, you look at like the lanky striker that we just got, he's yet to play.
And Pirates, is it ready to go to compete with Sundowns quickly?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, 100%. 100% is what we're going to keep it at. Make sure you don't move, don't even touch the dial or Skabewa anywhere else, because when we come back, we're going to be having a conversation with SABC Sport anchor and radio personality, Miss Oli Zondo.